Hello guys, welcome to this video with newsletter number 12. I call this the pipe organ and freshwater trip. I used to repair and maintain church organs, and then one day I decided to build my own organ. Now, as you can imagine, building your own and going on an organ forum, everybody just laughed at me. I mean, the video had 1,000 views, 1,000 dislikes, and 1,000 terrible comments. And then one day after I finished this home build organ, I've attempted to rebuild a Lowry organ for a lady here in town, and guess what? The entire organ community was amazed as I started to make the knobs and functions on a virtual organ to work. That gave me a little bit of international fame, if I could call it that, and working with all the different software developers, yeah, it turned out pretty nice. So on this trip I'm going to visit the organ that I built, a church built, and I have donated this organ to a chapel on a private farm, and there's a lovely campsite on that private farm. And with this video I'm going to talk about the fresh water on that private farm and of course that organ. As far as fresh water, one of my friends and subscribers from Spain had sent me awesome photographs of fresh water in Spain, and since we are living with a water crisis in South Africa, I thought, well, this would be a great opportunity to share his wonderful contribution with this newsletter. So hence we have the pipe organ and freshwater tour coming, and so please enjoy this one. Let's go to the campsite. Okay guys, my campsite here on a private farm, and this is what it looks like here. Okay, and I want to talk about water. Here in South Africa we are currently in this part of the Western Cape sitting with a water crisis. It's drought, and I just want to show you a sign up here in the bathroom block. Okay. I think that explains a lot. And then something else. They do have a spring water fountain on this farm, and the guy does supply bottled water for drinking and cooking purposes. So yeah. So this gives you an idea. There's a little chapel on this farm, and there's a virtual pipe organ in there. So hopefully we can have a look at that. But for some reason now I don't feel very well. My stomach is a bit upsetish. Don't know what that is all about. So, well, during the afternoon I took a little walk up to the chapel, and this is the chapel on the outside. The door was open, but the farm owner wasn't there. So yeah. This is what the chapel looks like on the inside, and this is the organ. Now I couldn't switch the organ on. There wasn't any electricity, so the farm owner had probably had to do that from his house. So, and since he wasn't there, I decided, well, okay, I'll do the demonstration of the organ back home. So I just walked around a little bit on the terrain. The swimming pool doesn't look very good. That is because of the water crisis. The owner had told me when I left, he said, I asked, what's the story with the swimming pool? He said, there's no water. And basically he just pumps out the terrible water from the pool onto the lawns to keep the lawns sort of alive. And that's basically what happened at the campsite. So in the following section of the video I'm basically going to talk about the organ at home. Hey guys, I'm back home after the trip. Sadly I couldn't play in the chapel organ as the farm owner wasn't available, but that's okay. I can basically demonstrate here at home. Now, should you Google about virtual pipe organs and the guys that build them themselves, you would notice they've got playing manuals, but they don't have any registers, or like the guys call it, knobs, but in actual fact organ terms they are called registers. And when you convert an organ like this to be playable and use these registers, that's quite tricky. So the guys would actually use finger touch control screens and have two screens on the organ, no registers, just playing manuals, and they would tap the screen. And when I've built these organs, I found it you must be extremely computer literate to play such an organ. And your old school people like to press a button. They would like to press registers for the organ to work. This organ needs a pretty decent computer, because it needs to be at least a 4-core processor and 6 to 8 gig RAMs at the minimum. So the requirement in running such an organ is the computer requirement is pretty strong. So What I did was to come up to make the registers work. Now for you guys, it's a bit have a bit of knowledge, computer knowledge, would recognize these three little lights immediately. Now this is the old controller that comes from an XT and an AT computer keyboard. These things used to have a little Phillips plug on the end. And the problem with the newer computer keyboards, this chip is like a little silicone thing, and then it goes to carbon points on the printed circuit of the keyboard, so you can't solder any wires on it. So I've built a flight simulator controller using one of these, and then I just put a PS2 connector on here and it worked fine. So basically the drive behind the registers and some other functions on the organ is actually all old computer parts, which is really hard to find these days. So that is basically my secret. And then of course on the organ forum the guys thought I built a MIDI trigger module, and everybody was interested in this module I built. In the meantime, I didn't build any module, it's just a part of the old computer keyboard. So there you have it. So I'm going to, when I started out with the virtual organs, I downloaded 26 organs, I think, all in all. I started to experiment with all of them. And then finally I ended up with two of them, and one of the most popular is of course the Hopeberg, which was developed by Martin Died and marketed now under Milan Digital Audio. This organ at home runs on the free version, and of course for commercial use there is also the commercial version, which is paid-ware. So and then also various different organs. Now this organ can record digitally, as I mentioned in my newsletter. For congregation singing, you physically have to play the organ, and if it's like a wedding, you can use MIDI files. So basically all I'm going to do now and record it digitally is playing the organ intro. Now I don't want to make too much noise, but basically the organ intro. Maybe that comes okay on the video, I don't know, because I've got the organ very soft. It is already at night and I don't want to bother the people. The nice thing of the organ, as I mentioned in my newsletter, is that the organ can play MIDI files. So such as example, when I play at the wedding, I really have to play the minimum, and because the organ, the MIDI files really does all the magic involved with the wedding. And then the weddings I've played, or the wedding I played a year or so ago, was very successful because I had actually improvised and used a little bit of the Titanic theme and so on within the music choice, and of course the couple was just amazed by it, so that went pretty well. I'm going to play just a short version of Mendelssohn's Wedding March so that you can see how that goes. So let me go. Okay guys, this is it for this video and this newsletter. A very special thanks to Greg Can in Spain. Greg, thank you very much for your awesome contributions with this newsletter, and I hope you are going to enjoy this one, and a big shout out to Joe as well. Thank you very much for your contribution, and to the rest of my followers, thanks for watching this newsletter, and see you next month for the second year of Fiat Uno Tour Car Adventures, and also I think a very special newsletter and trip coming. Thanks for watching all. Cheers.